The Delair Bridge is 130 years old, almost now. It's been a swing span drawbridge and a vertical lift bridge. An engineering masterpiece, both for about half of its life. Let's dive in. Started off, and you can see it here, as a swing span bridge. And I want you to see over my left shoulder, it may be on your right side, was the abutment, that thing hanging out of the Delaware River there, that swung around the Pennsylvania side. And it was at a pivot, 323 feet long. That's how this bridge and why it was constructed, to let marine traffic go through on the Delaware River. So 323 feet is only 160 feet on both sides, but it really isn't, because they would have to go through one way on one side of that abutment there, that pin, and on the other side there'd be not even 150 feet really. So vessels of only a certain width could actually go through it. This is before I was born. I was born in 1972. I'm a teacher from Philadelphia. I taught Pennsylvania history. They needed, after Dwight D. Eisenhower in 1956, and remember, this was built 60 years at least prior to that, in 1896. Completed in, like months. It was amazing how quickly things got done back then, and for a cheap price. They needed a larger clearance for the larger modern vessels. And they needed a 500-foot clearance, and this was not going to cut it. So the U.S. Corps of Engineers actually came out and helped the Pennsylvania Railroad, which was responsible for building this in the first place in the 1800s, construct and actually dredge up the Delaware River there on the Pennsylvania side and probably the New Jersey side, to allow for a vertical bridge to be put in. But was this closed from 1958 to 1960? Between those two piers that you see, those towers that you see in the background, that's what lifts up and down to 135 feet. It was completed right next to this bridge over those 2 years. But this bridge was not shut down. It kept traffic going. There was not just the freight trains, which there are. This is a double track bridge. There are two tracks. It is the longest at the time and heaviest bridge of its kind with two tracks. It's made of steel. I mean, this is super heavy. We're talking about thousands of tons. And the difference is the swing bridge needed more time to swing around, literally, to let the ships go by. The vertical lift bridge was important because this is only 50 feet high. That's the clearance of the Delair Bridge. And what the vertical lift bridge could do is it could go 135 feet high to match the Ben Franklin and the Betsy Ross right there next door. Even though that wouldn't be built until and opened until 1976. Shipped out, that vertical lift part, on barges, and they used low tides and high tides to get it into place in 1960. And they put those towers in, and they have to be much higher than the bridge. So that is the siren, and when that siren goes off, that means a ship is coming by. So we are going to get it, and I'll show you that footage. A pulley system that deals with counterweights, which have to be at least as heavy as the bridge, and the sheath at the top, which goes over, pulls it down. There are ropes and there are counterweights that pull this bridge up and lowers it down. Of course, it's done mechanically. So that was put in 1960 with minimal interruption to marine traffic. This is actually the bridge lowering right now. So the ship had gone by, and this is the lowering, and you can see that it's going into place now.